Welcome to the November update of 3D School. It's November 2020. Some people say this is the best year ever. I have not actually heard a lot of people say that, but what we are going to talk about today is some updates to 3D School, updates on courses, YouTube, all that shebang, just everything that we have, and of course some of the student work that I want to showcase and give some feedback on. I already have given them feedback just through text, but I thought maybe you guys can also learn from it. And so let's just go on. And in the last update from October, you guys heard that I have released a new course which is all about lighting, so product lighting for Blender. And yeah, these were some of the exercises that have been created. There are a few more, but it's just all focused on these. So we have I think 2 or 3 of the glass exercise, which is just with white, black, and then multicolored. Then we have 2 of the medical bottles, and then the perfume. I want to create some extra, and I'm already busy with some extra content for this. But I want to stray a bit away from the more transparent stuff, because I can see that we have 3 quite transparent objects and very glossy objects. But I want to stray a bit away from that, but it means that I have to create other models for you to download, and the model creation takes longer than I thought, so you have to wait a little bit for that, but it's coming for sure. Next thing that is coming is new tutorials, but I want to show you some of the tutorials that already have been added in these 4 weeks. So those will be these here. How many do I have? 6. Wow. And there's a 7th upcoming, so very nice. So here, I'll create a satisfying animation in Blender. Did it quite well actually also, and a lot of people liked it. And I already have some renders from some students from there, so you will see that very soon. Then we have a wood splitting animation, some text animations, which I actually really like. I really like text animations and all that stuff. They don't really do well, but I just think it's fun. So I hope you guys also enjoy it. I did one here as well, also text. It doesn't only work on text, by the way. You can also use these techniques on other parts of your model. So if you think it looks interesting, the animation or the effect that is shown, then of course you can also use it on other models. And then we have some fluid simulations. It took a very long time, this one, to actually render it, but this was really enjoyable to make. So it was fun. And this one, gotta be honest, the thumbnail doesn't look that interesting, but it is a stepping stone tutorial, because we're gonna use this technique a lot of times. And it's actually, we are rolling a ball around a curve, and we're using a little bit of Python code. It's just a little bit, by the way. I don't know shit about Python, but we're using a little bit of that code to actually animate this the correct way, right? So we're gonna use that as a stepping stone, and I think tomorrow or the day after that I already have a new tutorial out which looks a bit more interesting but uses those techniques from that video. So for sure check that out if you want to follow any of, I think I'll make 2 or 3, or maybe even a small little course about that, just so you guys have some more content about some satisfying animations. Next thing, I want to show you guys a little bit of my students, because they have made some awesome stuff this month. It's just amazing. 2 students did everything from the product lighting in a Blender course, as you can see here. There's a lot of stuff coming up, so I just want to show you and talk a little bit about it. So first one here, which is made by the Alpha Man. So Alpha Man created this, and I of course already gave him some feedback, and the feedback that I gave him was looks interesting, looks nice. I also like that he played around with different colors. One thing though, the background, the colors are not that interesting to me. When you need to step a little bit into the mind of the sellers of this product. And a lot of times when you sell or perfume or stuff that you have to put on your body, like oils, they have to look fresh or organic. And I think, I don't know, this brown just doesn't really do it for me, like this green brownish color. Blue, maybe, but then make it all blue. So that would be one feedback point that I would give. And also yeah, bump up the light a little bit. It's a little bit towards the dark side, and you want it to pop out. What you did very well though is the depth of field, which was one big part of this course, or this part of the course. That the depth of field is good. And we are really, yeah, like our focus is really on this model, right? We're not really looking at this. It's a nice prop in the back, but it's not really where the focus is upon. So I do appreciate that a lot. One other thing, I'm not so sure about this color here, like the roughness of this part. It looks like it's a hard metal or a hard plastic, I mean. But I will make it look like a bit more of a softer plastic. But that's very, very small. So, next one, also by the same guy, Alpha Man. Very cool. Personally, I would zoom in a little bit more into the perfume bottle, just so the focus a bit more on that and less on the floor underneath. Yeah, I really do like that you showed the reflection here, because I think that is a very nice touch. But if you go closer, you can still see some of the reflection. We cannot really fault anyone for, making these, like this flooring, like these waves, let's say, a little bit of a lesser quality, because it takes a lot of computing power. So you can see some of these black parts coming up, which are a little bit distracting, but that is, you need a better computer to really put it high. So there's no fault in that. And I really, really like the way, which was also what the main reason was why we thought this little part is great, getting a nice gradient with lighting on top of here, which I do appreciate a lot. So this gradient is really nice, and that's mostly it. So I will put it a bit closer and maybe turn the model a little bit more like this, so we can see more interesting parts of the model instead of making it look very flat. But overall, great job. So keep going with that. I really like it. And then here, this one was also amazing. I have, two small things that I want to talk about, but this was the best render, I think, of the Alpha Man. Really cool, very simple. And what we can see here is maybe the glass is a bit too thick, which is one of the things that I would say. And also, when you are creating any of these emitters with a lot of particles, the main particle that you use, which gets copied in the emitter, put it out of the camera view, because on top here I think we see the main emitter, like the main particle here. So if you just put it a bit more up, we cannot see it in our scene. And down here, which actually looks quite cool in this situation, right? It looks a little bit like caustics, but I think this is a problem with a subdivision and some bad topology down here. But in this case, it looks quite cool actually. So in this case, I would keep it. But yeah. So, and I think you had one more. This is this one. And yes, so also quite cool. Again, the background, I would personally choose another color. Even white would be better in my opinion. But we do see a nice separation between the background and our models, so that is good. Which was also a big task in this course, right? It's great separation between models, but also the background and the models. So I think you did that quite well. Not sure about this model here. Yeah, this is the lighting. Okay, that's fine. The one thing that I want to show you guys though is the saturation. So something is off in this image, and this is not to bash on Alpha Man at all, by the way, right? The lighting is good, we have some nice highlights. It's just that something is off, and that has to do with the saturation of the colors. Colors are really hard to work with, and if you get it wrong, it looks fake or off-putting very quickly. And I think, like, I really do appreciate, which I always tell in every course, I think, or almost every video, put a little bit of your own flair in it. Don't try to just copy from me. Take big parts of what you learn from me and then recreate it in a kind of way that, in your kind of way, let's say. It is not bad to copy at all, by the way, but I like when people try some other stuff out. But what you can see here is he tried a different color, and looks interesting. It's just that if the saturation is wrong, it looks very fake. And if we go into Facebook, and I'm just gonna make this one black and white, you will see that now it looks way more realistic, right? And you can try this with like any render, if you make it to black and white, or at least put saturation way lower, it makes it look for some reason way more realistic, because during the day we see so many colors and we kind of know what colors should look like and which ones are more fake. And yeah, so as you can see, if I just put the saturation a bit down here, wait, let's put it at 0 first. So this is the normal image, and if you just put the saturation a bit down, you can see that it already looks way more realistic, right? So yeah, just play a little bit around with that, but that is also not the reason why we did the scores, right? This one was really about lighting. So yeah, maybe I need to make a course in the future about some of the colors and how you should treat them. But I hope you guys learned from this. So try it with your own renders. If you're not really sure, just make it to black and white, and it looks, yeah, it looks just way more realistic. Funny. So let's go on to the next person, and that will be Kushbo Nihalani. Sorry for butchering your name, but yeah, great renders, really good job. And again, this person did like every single part of this course, so I'm just amazed. Really, really thank you for even participating in it, and I hope you learned a lot from it. But I think, yeah, you're like, these renders were really good, so I hope you're getting some great strides in your next works. But what we can see here is, yeah, great render. This was again went about the depth, and yeah, great job. The only thing that I would say here is this highlight on top of this back model is a bit too bright. So we want our focus to be on this one here, right? The main 3D model. And we take the focus away from this one by making it blurry with the depth of field. The one thing is, if we make this very bright, that creates a contrast. So it creates a contrast, and our eyes are very attracted to contrast. So if you create a contrast between it, our eyes goes here, and we don't want that. We want our eyes to go on top of here. So just move this light a little bit to another side, move to the back, whatever, or just make it a little bit less bright. That will fix this, and yeah, that is why I will do it. Next one of the same person, this one here. This is, I really like the glass exercises because it really teaches you how to create contrast with different kinds of techniques. But contrast is really important. And you can see with just a transparent kind of model, if we don't put any of the lighting highlights or any of the back, like black planes behind it or before it, this will, like, you can literally not see what is happening from a little bit further away. But because we are doing this in these exercises, you can see the nice outline and the shapes of the glass, which is, yeah, very cool. I would personally make the background a little bit more bright, a little bit more white and bright. And that's literally the only thing, because we can clearly see some good contrast between the background and the glass. But yeah, making it a little bit more lighter will make yeah, this this image a bit more interesting. What more do we have? Oh yeah, and wait, with this one for some reason didn't really save well, but that is this one, Liquid Ass. Again here, very great stuff. You can see that what I gave as feedback with the other one from Alpha Man. You can see that if we actually put our image a little bit closer to our like our subject, you can see that yeah, it pops a bit more out. It's so weird to say pop, but yeah, it's just a word that I use regularly. And I hope you guys know what I mean. It just looks more interesting. We are focused more on top of this perfume bottle. Also here, I really like the nice, yeah, gradient. And the gradient is just created by placing the light in the right position. So very good. Love it. You can see some nice reflections on here. And also here, as with the other one actually, we have a big separation between the background and the waves, like the flooring underneath. You can get rid of this by going into Photoshop and yeah, making this a bit more smooth. I personally did it, but I also mentioned in that video that it was totally optional, so I will not, you know, fault you for that or anything. But I do think if you do that, it will make this, yeah, look even more interesting and visually appealing. So, very cool. Also a nice reflection on here. Maybe you could have gone, like, maybe you could have taken these waves a little bit further, but yeah, overall it's really nice. It's really nice. So that is it for this course. I think I didn't get any extra renders from this particular course or these images, but we do have some other cool ones, which are from, yeah, some of the tutorials, of course, that we have on YouTube, and a lot of people tagged me on Instagram, and yeah, I will show you, of course, who did it as well. And if you ever have an image that you want to share with me, I will just put my links down below wherever you can share. I'm gonna be honest, the most of the feedback that I give is from really students that I have. So underneath YouTube, I try to help some people, but it's just getting a little bit too much, let's say. And I really want to focus on people who actually pay for these lessons. So yeah, that's just something that I want to throw out there, just so you know, if I don't comment, that I'm very busy. But let's look at this. Very cool. This is made by Matthews, George. Very cool stuff. It sadly doesn't show the animation, but I know that the animation, like rendering that, just takes so long. And I totally appreciate just sending one image, because yeah, we can see that you know what to do. And this animation was literally just rotating it around, so it was not that interesting to actually animate it. But very good stuff. The one thing that I would change here, the one feedback point that I would give, is these highlights. They're just a bit too bright. They take away from the nice material that you have created. So you can do it two ways. You can change the like the lighting that you use, put it farther away, make it bigger, so make it actually a bit of a softer material, like softer lighting. Or what you could do is just change the roughness of your the materials, right? So just changing the roughness will already do a lot here. I do really like that you also have a nice, like the blue background really complements the other colors in the scene. So I really do like that. I think here on the top, you might have taken it a bit too far with like the rotation on these ones here. Like it looks like it's not really falling down like whoop. It's like almost curving. I'm not really sure how to explain it. It's almost like bending. So maybe put that a bit, you know, straighter, let's say. But overall, yeah, great materials. I like that you actually went for a bit of bigger, like glitters. Yeah, great stuff. Just change that, and it will already, like, that will make a huge difference, actually, if you just change these highlights. If you just change the roughness and the lighting, like, make it more soft, this will look way more interesting, way nicer. But I actually like what you did. Yeah, let's go on to the next one. Here, this is made by Kali Brad Carter. Very cool. Different colors. Love it. Yeah, I would personally do a little bit more, like light it up a bit more, because down here between the background and like the model itself, it's almost like it's hard to see a separation, and I like to see separations in these kinds of yeah, animations. That's a little bit optional, of course. I do see that you have put a nice light in them, like inside here. Looks cool. It's just that these little fat tubes are not thick enough, so you can see through here. You probably already know it, but yeah, that's the one thing that I would change, or the two things I should say. Overall, I really like the colors though, so I like the color palette that you're going with. Very nice. Next one, SVC Creations. Very cool. This is actually from a very early yeah, tutorial or course actually that I created. And you have all these balls or all these spheres that create a nice, yeah, DNA strain. Very cool. If I could give feedback, yeah, I would give, hold on, there's some feedback. We can see your light in the scene. That's it. And also the camera, I think the camera's a bit too, it's not smooth enough for me. Like this part, it's so annoying, you can't really rewind in Instagram. But like this part seems a bit abrupt from here and then here. That seems a bit abrupt, but I actually like it, so awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And then as last, well, this one here, it's just, I can't really give any feedback, it just looks amazing. And this is actually made from this tutorial that I've created. Look here. This is created from this here. So you can see that it looks way different, just with different colors, and I really like that people implement certain stuff that they've learned from me and then just do their own with it. So I want to thank everyone who really posted all of these great renders. And I hope you don't get hurt by some of the feedback that I give. It's really just feedback. You are already doing so much better than most of these guys that just watch half of a video and don't really finish anything. So yeah, thank you for showing all of your great stuff, and I hope to see more from you guys. And if you want to send also your renders in, you can do it underneath each course that I have, just in the comments. But you can also just tag me on Instagram. I even have TikTok right now, but I will just put everything down below, and you guys can just send me your stuff. So that's it. I see you guys.